today with our newest and probably one of our most distinguished Arizona drag racing legends, Allan Knutsen. Allan is a longtime Arizona fixture, racing from the good old days. He's still a car guy. He loves everything about the sport of drag racing. He's been there, done that, and probably wrote a couple books about it along the way. Allan, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here, and thank you all for doing this. And I appreciate the opportunity.
You might not thank us when it's all done. You might. Okay.
If it's good, it's good.
So, where are you from originally?
I was born and raised there. I'm a desert rat.
Desert rat. So, where'd you go to high school?
1943.
Where'd you go to high school?
Washington High School.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
That's something. There weren't many high schools back then.
Well, yeah, there was a few.
There's like Glendale and Peoria and Phoenix Union.
Yeah.
And Washington.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. So, when did you first get interested in cars?
All right. Well, my dad, back in 1955, he bought him a brand new Piper Tri-Pacer, and he said, "Hey, they're going to have a drag race at Perryville drag strip. We ought to fly out there and land on one of them auxiliary strips and watch it." I said, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea." So, got in that plane, went out there and landed on the auxiliary strip. Got in for free. No tickets, And so watched the drags, and I got hooked right off the bat. I said, I'm going to do this someday. And I was 12 years old, and we got back, and he was actually in the trucking business, and we lived on a 5-acre property on Glendale Avenue and 28, all the trucks in the back 40. And so I had the opportunity. He had welders and torches and painting goods. I had the opportunity to teach myself all I needed to teach to do what I wanted to do.
And to get yourself in and out of trouble.
Exactly.
Good.
And that's what kept me out of trouble. And so I started working for him when I was about 13, 14 in the shop, just doing stuff around there and learning how to operate all them things. By the time I was 16, I had enough money to buy me a first car.
What was your first car?
Well, I wanted a 41 Willys. That's what I really wanted, because I thought they were the neatest looking drag car there was.
See, 41, you were at 16, so it'd be like 59 or so.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, 59.
So, and you wanted a 41.
41 Willys, because
so that car was only 18 years old at the time.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and all my friends had 55, 6, 7 Chevys, and I wanted something different. I wanted something, a little shorter wheelbase and all that stuff. And a buddy of mine was driving one to high school, and I said, "Hey, I want to buy that car." Actually, it was a 39. It had a split grill, but body was the same. And he said, "No, I needed to get back and forth to school." I said, "Well, you sure you want to sell it?" No, he would never sell it. So anyway, I ended up finding a 40 Ford coupe, and it had a flathead engine in it and all that stuff. Well, the car guys' famous words are, "We need more power." So I jerked the flathead out and found a red Ram Dodge, because a big Hemi Chryslers was a big thing going back in the day. So I couldn't find a Chrysler, so I ended up with Dodge. I stuck her in the 40 Ford, painted it bright red because I like the red, and started driving that. And
that was your high school car?
High school car. Cruising Central. Took the hood off, so I showed the motor off. It had chrome valve covers on it, put 3 2s on it. And that was my high school car. And then come find out later on, I'm thinking, this thing don't really run any better than that flathead. Something's going on here.
It sounded better.
It did.
Yeah.
It looked better.
Yeah.
And so I got to looking around, and I found a motor manual and looking up the cubic inches on all these motors, 241 inches. That was a big Hemi. And the flathead had 248. So there's the problem.
Gotcha.
Smaller.
I figured it out.
So I said, that's got to go. So then I found me a 57 Chevy at a wrecking yard. Stuck that in there. And I put a dumped-off cam, saw lifters, and a buddy of mine had a Rochester fuel injection. Stuck that on there. Then I had me a car that ran pretty good with a Chevy 3-speed, and I put a Pontiac, 1956 Pontiac with a 430 gear in it. And that was my drag setup, And a few months went by, and I kept driving, Central and cruising high school. And I guess maybe a year went by, and I'm like 17 now. A buddy might say, "Hey, there's a big Carrot Festival race in Hopeville, California. We need to go, and a bunch of us guys are going down there, and you need to bring your 40. I said, "All right." I said, "If I'm going to do that, I'm going to have some headers." So you couldn't buy headers back there in them days for a small block Chevy and a 40 Ford. So I had to build myself. So I got me a header flanges and U-bends and with a hacksaw and a settling welding torch. I built a set of headers, a 4-inch collector tube. And then my buddy had told me I had to build tow bar. I couldn't drive in street.
I was gonna. So you flat towed it there?
Yeah, buddy of mine had 56 Chevy. He towed me there, and I got there, and there was like 20 cars in my class. I was running C-gas, and I thought I'd try a couple 4-barrels on it over that fuel injection because I didn't think the fuel injection would run that good. It got really good fuel mileage. I mean, I never had to fill the tank up hardly. So anyway, I put two quads on it, and I made it to the final round in my class C-gas against the 39 Chevy from California, and got him out of the gate. And he kind of caught me at the top end, and we went together, across the line side by side. Didn't know who won, but they said he got me by about 6 inches. And come to find out later on when I got home, that front 4-barrel wasn't opening all the way. The secondary wasn't open at all, just the primary. So I was running on 3.2 instead of 2.4s. So that was my first racing experience. So I get back in Phoenix, started running at Mel Larson's. And then a couple months went by, and Harry Lopez and Ernest Lopez, they're F-gas guys that run F-gassers,
Okay.
they wanted to trade a 41 Woolies straight across for my 40 Ford without the motor and transmission. I said, sure, that's what I wanted in the first place. So I made the trade, took my motor out and everything, and they put their 6-cylinder in that 40 Ford and run F-gas in it for a while. Then they bought them a 30 Model A and ran F-gas in a 30 Model A.
So this is your first Willys. You finally got
First
one.
Woolies, I got
And
it.
so what color was it?
41 Woolies.
So when you got it, what color was it?
It was just gray.
So you had to make it a red one?
Oh, no, I made that one a yellow one.
Yellow, okay.
Okay, so anyway, and by the way, that one that kid was driving in high school, Charlie and Glenn Brown bought that one.
Oh, cool.
And that was their Willys that they put the blower on. So small world.
Yes.
But he didn't need any more because I guess he graduated from high school. So anyway, I got this 41 Willys. Well, Loper had this beautiful orange-red 41 Woolies B-gasser with a Hilborn injected 301 with a B&M, and I thought that was the most beautiful car in the world, and had Hildebrands on it, polished. I said, well, I can't paint it red. That'd be just like him, so I got to have a bright color. Painted it canary yellow. And cut the fall out and put a small block in it, and actually a different small block. This small block, actually, I bought from a guy with a sprint car. He needed some money, so he wanted to sell me the short block. It was 283 steel with a Arizona hard chrome crank, Howard aluminum rods, Mickey Thompson 13.8 pistons, and Cryer roller cam.
Sounds like he had a drag racing motor for a sprint car.
Well, actually, they had a Racer Brown cam in it first, and I ran it for a while.
With aluminum rods and such. I mean, they didn't like the letting off the throttle on, getting back on them. That's right. So that was your step into that thing.
That was.
Let me ask you. So with your 40 car. So where was your first place? The first was in Coltville, first drag race.
That was in the 40 Ford. Yeah, in
okay.
Coltville.
And then where else did you race that car?
Just not Beeline. Mel Larson's.
Mel Larson's. Okay.
That was it.
Was that like a regular deal?
Regular deal every weekend.
Okay.
Anyway,
so Mel Larson's was kind of interesting. Is I have a lot of people that I talk to today go, where was Mel Larson's or where was Phoenix Dragway? And they had 3 or 4 names before it finally remembered as a Speed World. So I posted some pictures on the internet yesterday and showed a buddy of mine's car wracing at Phoenix Dragway, and people go, "Oh, you were right. There was a Phoenix Dragway." So that's how you get. That's where you got your fever going. You wanted. You felt the need for speed.
Exactly.
So you got yourself your Willys.
Yep.
Got an engine for it.
Yep. So I bought some Mondello heads. They're high sophisticated heads, ported and polished, bigger valves I put on it. And I bought a brand new Hilborn for it. Went to Stu Hilborn in Santa Monica, California, and picked up a brand new one, brought it back, stuck it all together, and put it in that 41. And I bought a set of American mag wheels for it all around. And I made the mistake of ordering them unpolished. And if anybody's ever polished a spoke wheel, they know it's a really workout.
Kills your hands.
Yes.
So let me ask you, when you went to Hilborn, you bought a new fuel injection unit.
Brand new Hilborn.
You remember what it cost you?
Yeah, about $250. Right now, it'd probably be $2,500.
Well, if you could find one.
Yeah.
Yeah. unfortunately, they were bought out by Holly, and
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And
so I had to learn how to set it all up, operate it, and all that stuff.
Did you have anybody along the way that helped you? Would go to the races with you?
Johnny Loper.
Okay.
He was kind of a little bit of my idol, and he plus before a lot of the speed shops opened up, including his, he worked for that grocery store.
Food City.
Food City.
Yes.
16th Street in Mojave. So I'd go over there and we'd get together and we'd back and forth, and he'd order different stuff for me, like he ordered me an Isky cam to start with, and I think he even ordered those American Mag wheels for me when I got it. He knew the routine and all that stuff, So he was kind of my go-to guy, and then so get the car all together, painted a bright yellow, and I started racing at Mel Larson's first before Beeline opened in 1963. 63 came around and raced at Beeline, and it ended up in that Beeline Dragway poster advertising 6500 Nationals. And then I went to, he wanted to go to Long Beach. And no, not Long Beach. First annual Hot Rod magazine in Riverside, California, the road course. So I built a trailer now out of an old house trailer frame because I didn't want to tow that. So I built a tandem axle trailer out of a house trailer frame, loaded up the Willys, and he had this Anglia now, A-gas Anglia. So we towed over there to Riverside, California, and he was running A-gas and I was running C-gas. We both won our classes. And come back, and then what else did I go? I think I ran at Pomona too a couple times. And then about 1963, no, 64, 65 came around, and I had urge for 33 Willys. So I said, well, I love the 41, but the 33 just intrigued me.
41 was too new for you. You needed an older one.
Well, I don't know. It seemed like everybody and their brother had one,
know? Well, they were definitely looking cars.
Yeah, but they were good drag cars in the day because they only had a 100-inch wheelbase.
Right.
And they were light. You could add weight to it. The car weighed, when I had it ready to run with a 283 for C-gas, it weighed 2289. Without the added weight, had to weigh 2547 for C-gas with a 283. So anyway, I decided I have to have a 33. So I was in speed engineering one day. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but back in the day, Bob Harrington even had a chassis dyno there. Bob Harrington had it, and he ran about a 5960 Corvette with a blown small block in it, running like B-modified sports car, something like that. Then he built him a 41 Willys pickup with a blown Hemi in it. And then he sold the shop to Guest Brothers. They were Dodge and Plymouth Hemi guys would run super stock. So I was in there buying parts one day, and I said, hey, you guys wouldn't know anybody might have a 33 Willys, would you? They said, well, as a matter of fact, this is your lucky day. We got one sitting out in the back 40 over there. And I said, you want to sell it? Yeah, we'll sell it. And he says, go check it out. I said, all right. So I went out there and looked at it, and I saw a big pile of rubble, fenders and stuff piled up there, Bondo on them, rust. But the body shell and the frame was good. That's all I needed. I had a vision. And so I go back in and I said, what do you want for that Willys? I want it, And they said, well, we got a customer in here needs a Chevy 4-speed. You come up with a Chevy 4-speed, we'll trade you straight across that Willys. So you got it. So I got it back home, got my car and went back to my house and jerked the 4-speed out of the 41 and Willys, hooked up my trailer and went back down there and loaded up that 33 and gave him the 4-speed. So that's where the Willys came from. And I get the car home. Everybody thought I was crazy for, shutting down that beautiful yellow 41 and starting this, what they considered a pile of rubble.
Yeah, but you're young and had energy and you had a vision.
And I had a vision, exactly. I had a vision. So I said, don't worry, you just hide and watch. I take the body clear off the frame, sandblast everything inside and out. I got 2 bare frame rails sitting there on the floor on the jack stands. The Willys came with just front springs only. So I took all the leaves out but 3 and built a chromoly tube axle, straight axle for it. Stuck that in there and built a new trick suspension for it, which is kind of a torque arm or a lift bar suspension. Back in the days, we didn't have tires worth of crap. So we had to do trick suspensions of anything you could, The 41 had like quarter elliptics. I'm not even going to explain that, but anybody with any knowledge of drag racing, they'll know. Plus, I got pictures in some of these magazines, which it shows all that, you know. So anyway, this lift bar consisted of 2x3 square tubing welded solidly to the rear end housing, and one pivot point up in front. And the idea is when the rear end torqued up, it had a tendency to have to lift the whole car up because it was welded solid back here. And that's how it worked. It worked great. I did have to experiment with
That's your weight transfer you're looking for.
Had to experiment with it a couple times on different lengths and angles. Because at first it wanted to bite too hard and hop the wheels off the ground. So then I had to lengthen them, and it was kind of lifting the front end more. And so I said, well, I got to be a happy medium here. So I decided, let me jack the car up and find a center balance point where it teetered. And that's where them bars need to be. So that's where they ended up, 24 inches from the center of the rear end forward.
So
that was a magic point.
What you discovered, in modern terms, they call that instant center.
Yeah.
That's where that was actually the pivot point.
And, and it worked perfect.
When you did it, there was no YouTube videos, there was no instructions. You just kind of say, I think this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Well, actually, Hubert Platt had that on his. He had a Mustang.
Yep.
But I didn't know about the lengths and all the geometry of it. I just saw how it worked on his car. I said, I got to try it on my Willys, you know. So and back then we didn't have line locks. So I actually had a handbrake that worked off my brake pedal. It had to be a little like a stick between my legs here that I could hold on the line when you're winging at 90 grand to get off the clutch, you know. And it worked out great. So
what transmission did that hit? Would you put in there?
4-speed. Okay. I had a 4-speed, 57 Pontiac Grand with a 557 gear. So that way that little mouse motor was screaming and the lights on the top end. So when then I ordered aluminum fiberglass for it all the way around. Built aluminum firewall for it, set it back about 8 inches for the 10% engine setback. And then the fiberglass came, and doors, rear fender, deck lid, front end was like 4 pieces. I wanted a 1-piece tilt front end. So I built some aluminum brackets on it and fiberglass the nose section to the back of the hood, and then bolted the fenders to the hood so it's 1 piece where it could tilt like this.
Cool.
And the rule back then said you had to have working headlights and taillights. All I had was 8-inch hole in each fender. So I got me a couple of spun aluminum 8-inch pipe ends, fiberglass the pipe ends to the back of the headlight opening, and pop riveted a little headlight bulb element in it. And I had some blue plexiglass left over from the windows, and I used that for the lenses. And to keep it all Willys, I used Jeep headlight rims.
So kind of to fill this picture in a little bit.
Yeah.
You took some pipe ends. Yeah. Now, your lovely, you and your lovely wife have been married for 55 years, you said?
Yeah.
You were married then by that time?
Not to her.
Okay.
I was married to another person, but I don't want to talk about her.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So she probably was, the deal was maybe taking her pipe hands made her mad?
My mother.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. She says, hey, what'd you do with pipe hands? I needed them.
Yeah. So you got the car going. How quick did that car run?
Best speed in ET was 1056, 127.
Wow. That's cooking back then.
Long Beach. Me and Loper towed to Long Beach in this deal. He had his angler, you know, and for a little baby mouse motor, but it worked good because it come out of the gate good, and all that. Plus, speaking of coming out of the gate, Johnny Loper taught me putting these new wrinkle ball Goodyears on it with screws. We didn't have bead locks back then, so I had to screw the tires to the wheels so they wouldn't spin off the rim at low oil pressure. First run out at Beeline to come out of the gate, and it did a bumper dragging wheel stand and came down like really hard. Bent the front axle like this. So I had to go home, straighten the axle. This is Winter Nationals. Straighten the front axle. Didn't have time to build wheelie bars, so I straightened the axle, took some weight out of the frame, out of the rear end trunk, because I had a lot of added weight to that. Hung it on the front cross member, aired the tires up a lot. I went out there cold turkey, jumped her off the line again, come out perfect. Wheels off the ground all the way through and low, partly in second. It worked great.
So you figured out the way to not run wheelie bars.
Yeah, well, yeah. I never did put them on, but I just getting the balance right is a trick, you know. But then every track is a little different, you know, and the tire pressure makes a lot of difference, and tires make a lot of difference.
Well, if you were lifting the wheels like that, with the technology of the tires and the technology of the tracks, you know, that it must have been like the car must have worked really, really well for you.
It did. That car, and it went straighter than I put a lot of caster in the front end when I put the axle together. Like a dragster, the wheels kind of lay like this. So I think it's
wants to go straight
and narrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I got all done, I painted rocket red. I put a 5-inch metal or pipe bumper on it with threads on each end with a 125 chunk of coal roll, 125-pound piece of coal roll inside of it for added weight. So the car, when it was all done, without any added weight, weighed 1750.
What class was that running?
B-gas. I had to go to B-gas now because it's so much lighter.
Right.
And the car had to weigh 1981 from the class in B-gas. I had a couple of 200 pounds in the back, which needed to be. So it worked good. And I had a match race with the Hallcraft Homes Anglia back in 1967. Stan Hall, the owner of it, with Hallcraft Homes, he was in service at the time.
So is that how the Brown brothers got involved? Because wasn't one of them with Hallcraft for a while?
No.
Okay,
no.
But Brown brothers, one of them was a builder though, right?
No, he was a roofer. Glenn Brown was a roofer for Anchor Roofing.
Oh, Glenn Brown. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Brown. Yeah, Charlie was mostly the driver.
Right.
And anyway, we ran a PIR one year out there too. They had a drag race at PIR in that straight section, and in the shutdown area, you actually made a left turn and come back in. You can coast into the pits, which worked out good
for some people.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard about it, but somebody hit the wall down there, and I guess they got killed. And that
it was a neighbor relative. They had the car across the alley from where I lived.
Oh, really? So you were familiar with it?
I was a young guy that really had never driven before.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate, but the idea that people still, there's drag strip road out there at the track, and people say, oh, that must have been where the drag strip was. So it's got a lot of heritage to it. So how long did you run that car?
I run each one of them 3 years. I run the 40 Ford from like 1960 to 62. I run the 41 from late 62 to 65, and the 33 from 65 to 68 or 9.
Okay.
And then where do we go from here?
So in 1969. So when did you and Barbara get married?
72.
72.
Yeah.
So and did she? I mean, did you have to introduce her to drag racing, or did you meet her at the drags?
She was familiar.
Okay.
She knew me actually before I married my first wife. We were actually good friends, and I was friends with her husband and all that stuff. Anyway, we got married in 72 and been together a long time. And then I started a business with my brother, fabricating, aluminum welding, all that stuff, And I kind of didn't really have a lot of time. And so the car sat in my garage a while. Oh, then John Lane, House of Speed, he come up to me and said, hey, I got a 468 Hillborn injected big block Chevy with a clutch flight. Would really work good in that Willys. I said, yeah, that does sound pretty good. Well, let's try that. So I took it over to a little hole-in-the-wall shop at Bethany and the freeway access. This is before I got on 43rd Avenue.
Right.
And we stuck that big block 468 in there with a clutch flight. And I got the drive shaft and motor mounts going. All we need is a header. But something came up. I don't know what it was. But either I got interrupted, or I didn't have time, or he had something else going. And we never did finish it. So that never did happen.
That would have been something. So
because that car would have went good with that big block.
You went in business with your brother, fabricating,
truck and welding, and all that stuff.
So your skills that you learned in cars, to be successful, well, I kind of knew all that in the process in the early days.
So
what you learned helped you in that business. Yeah. So that what's really interesting. A lot of people that still race today. There's a lot of people with quite a few people that got a bit because what they learned in racing, or they learned about going racing, still helping getting a business.
Still use
and the business took off.
Yeah.
And they like making money.
Yeah.
So how long did you have that business?
1992. It kind of fizzled out. I don't know if we had something going on then, bad economy days and stuff. And so I kind of had to get out of it. My brother I bought him out a couple of years later, and he bought his own truck, and he likes to drive, I mean, I even did that for a few years too, but that quit. Anyway, went for work for Swift Transportation in their body shop. and they had a place over there on 75th Avenue, and I did all their body repair on their wreck cabs, which they had a lot of them. And then I retired from Swift in 2009. So she took me on a motorhome trip, you know, and we went all over and saw different stuff, you know, and I kept getting the hots for another Willys. I said, I really like to have another Willys, but I'd like to have one where I can drive on the street. Because the drag racing in my years kind of fizzled out, you know, and sponsorship and all that stuff. So come up with this blue 33 Willys, all metal, with an LS in it, and 7R overdrive transmission, Mark Williams aluminum rear end.
Wow.
And it's a nice, pretty cobalt blue, and that's our little street cruiser.
Is that the one on your shirt?
No, I got a picture of
Okay.
it, which you can show.
Oh, you will. Yeah, definitely.
And
so that's what revived you.
That's that's what keeps me alive now, and because of my sweet wife, that's why I have it. She wanted it also. And so we take her to car shows and cruise and stuff, and I won 4 car show first places in Winslow and Williams.
Well, okay.
And it's won its best of class. It's won a best of paint job one time and best interior one time. So it's covered it all.
So Allan, have you taken it down the drag strip at all?
Nope.
Do you have any desire to?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. You could. How they say it, you can take the boy out of the race car, but you can't take the race car out of the boy.
I can dream a lot.
Yeah, you're a racer still.
Yeah, still a racer. So that's kind of where I'm at, and enjoying life and having fun.
What are you doing these days? Just enjoying taking your car and having a good time.
Different car shows and cruising around town, you know, and you know we go to early morning coffee sometime. A bunch of old guys with their cars, they'll come up there and we'll talk and tell about our stories and everything, you know. So it keeps us going.
So you're born in 43.
43.
St. Joseph's Hospital.
Good Sam.
Good Sam was the only 2 hospitals. Yeah.
Yeah, Good Sam.
Yeah. So you're native.
Native.
You're a diehard car guy.
Yep.
Is there anything you haven't done you want to do?
Probably not. You
want to go drag racing?
Well, yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, but this day and age, it's kind of out of my. I'm old school. You know, there were no computers, no nothing back in the days. You know, you was all seat of the pants, word of mouth, and do it yourself.
Well, you had the version 1 computer, the one between your ears.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's all. That was a great equalizer for a lot of people, or the advantage for others.
But it was like your talents against the next guy's talents. Right. I mean, it wasn't all about drag racing. It's all about getting it set up to make it go good.
So if you and John Lane got that car running, and so it's like 67, 68, you said?
Yeah, it would have been about 68.
You could have run up against Loper in his gas car.
Well, speaking of running up against Loper,
okay,
I did run up against Loper in the time trials at Beeline one morning early. And he was A gas with 389 inches. And I'm B gas with 283 inches. Cars weighed about the same. The Willys was actually light. It looks a little bigger than that Anglia, but for all my fiberglass and aluminum I had in it, it was as light as that Anglia. He was supposed to kick my butt because of bigger inches, A gas, me B gas. But he, I guess, got crossed up a little bit out of the gate, and I'm grabbing gears, you know, and everything, waiting for him to blow by me, and never did catch me. Never saw him. Never caught me. And then we were really good friends for a long time, but he wouldn't talk to me for a couple months after. So John Loper, back in the day, you're either a Gusick fan or a Loper fan, this or that. And the Gusick family gave me my start in the business, and it's really paid off well for me. And and then later on, I went to work for some manufacturers when it was Holly Carburetors. Oh yeah. So I was in charge of the whole western part of the United States, and Loper's one of our customers. Really? Well, before that, I had a speed shop, and I didn't think Loper did. I thought he didn't like me, so I went out to had my boss fly out from Kentucky. When he saw me, he goes, "Oh no, we're fine." Loper was a self-made man. He was. He didn't. It wasn't the person he didn't like. It was the fact that somebody might beat him at something. Exactly. He was a competitor. Yeah, he didn't want to be beat from the day one. And when I went to work for the Holly, all of a sudden it was a whole different side of him. And it was wonderful. I got 2 great people that Everett Gusick, the patriarch of the Gusick family, and John Loper. I learned a lot from both of them. Yeah. Oh, and I had people inspire me along the way. Who inspired you? Well, Loper for one, and then when 33 came around, K.S. Pittman and George Montgomery.
Ohio George.
Ohio George.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when me and my wife went back to Ohio to visit our daughter, he lived there in Ohio, and about 10 miles from their house, and we went over there and visited him.
Right.
And I knocked on the door, and his son answered the door, and this is his speed shop right there where he did all the stuff. And he said, well, you know, I said, is George here by any chance? He said, well, usually he isn't, but he happened to be here today, and he's in his office. I said, well, could we see him or talk to him a little bit? Yeah, come on. Well, he went and asked him. And
right.
Said, yeah, sure, come on in. So I'm in there, and I told him I'm a 33 Willys fan, and I loved your story from starting that when he built the 33, and I have a 33. Matter of fact, when my 33 was in the centerfold of Carcraft magazine in 1968, December, his new Mustang that he quit running the Willys was on the front cover. And it's kind of an ironic deal, you know, because Ford says, hey, Benz, we're sponsoring you. You started running them 4-cam Fords, you know. Benz, we're sponsoring you, and Ford and everything. Well, you need to be racing a Ford. Get rid of that Willys. It's getting kind of squirrely anyway. So he set up this Mustang and put that camera in that Mustang. And that's where the Mustang comes from.
I had the pleasure of working for Mr. Gaska for a while, so Joe Rudka.
Yeah.
And the whole deal. And another company I worked for a while was based in Cleveland. So a lot of time back there, one of our best customers over the years has been Summit Racing. And Summit used to have the shows there in Talmadge. And they'd have it at their shop, then they have it at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And one of the years they had the fairgrounds, they had the Ohio Gasser Association there.
Yeah.
I was in seventh heaven. I mean, you know, it's just amazing. And they still run. Yeah. I mean, they have big, it's really big and hot and heavy back in that part of the country.
Yeah, that's where this Gasser magazine's come. You go through the Gasser magazine, it's got all that. It's still going on, old school days. I
subscribe to that. And I'm not even a Gasser guy, but I love the cars. It's fantastic. So you got to meet your icons,
and I got
no disappointment meeting them. Sometimes they say you never want to meet your hero.
Oh no, autographed copy of his magazine and a T-shirt.
That's cool.
Autographed him in a T-shirt. It's
I know a lot of people back. I never met him, but I knew a lot of people back there that were very good friends.
I mean, he was a pioneer. He was innovator.
Yep. It was funny. Joe Rudkin and his brother raced a Gasser, and that's how they came up with the gaskets. And, You know, we just lost Joe a few months ago. But it's through that part of the country. I mean, the explosion of the Gassers, that was
still going on.
It's amazing. So you got to have your lap of America. You enjoyed it. You've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate having you here today. Your story's fantastic. Is there anything else we want to cut you short? But is there anything that you like to part with?
Well, I'm just enjoying my retirement, and my wife, and we have good times together. And every now and then we'll go to a car show or cruise in, and just hanging out at home.
So you're in great shape. The Lord's blessed you in many ways. It looks like, and it's so great to have you here today.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Please.
My 33 Willys, a guy came from Honolulu, Hawaii, and bought it. And Loper's car went there also. That's funny. They both ended up over there. And so it actually, about 8 or 9 or 10 years later, I decided I want to try to buy it back, because I like to fix it back up like it was and make it original. So, well, it changed hands 2 or 3 times. I couldn't find it. And so it ended up over there, and so that's when I decided to do the blue one.
It turned out well.
Yeah.
So you think it's still over there somewhere?
The 33. Yeah, it is. I actually saw a picture of it.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. It's amazing to the people that watch these videos.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to watch it that knows somebody that might know somebody.
Yeah.
And so be prepared. We had Albert Eschenbach do a video, and somebody was looking for somebody from his family for some oil rights that his dad had bought in 1929. Yeah. And they needed Albert's, and because of the video and the power of the internet and to do the searching by the name, you might be surprised. So anybody out there in Hawaii or knows about the whereabouts of that car, Whether he wants it back or not now, he'd
Yep.
sure like to know where it's at.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having it back.
Yeah, there you go.
I could have two.
Yeah, you got room for it.
I still got life left, right? There's still life.
That's right. You're still as it said, you're still sucking air, right?
Exactly.
Our friend Bill Gusick says, "I'm still sucking air."
That's good. Well, at least you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Allan, you're an Arizona drag racing legend. You know, you've done a lot over the years. Your passion, your smile says it all. It's been a great having you here today. Thank you so much for your time.
Been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.